From music promos to historical epics, superheroes, a prolific cinematographer who's worked with directors Jake Jordan, Ridley Scott, Mike Newell, James Mangold, Joe Wright, Joel Schumacher, John Landis, Guy Ritchie, Julian Temple, and this time Sam Raimi, John Mathieson BSC. Welcome, John. It's lovely to see you. That's something else, that is. It's a bit of an epic. This isn't your first superhero or action movie, of course. What was it that first attracted you to these multi-million-dollar projects?
The cash. Is this working, hello? No, well, it'll be like my last one, I think.
Right. You're not coming back for the third one, then?
I thought, well, it was good because we killed 4 of them in it, but of course, then someone reminded me that it's a multiverse, they'll come back. But anyway, how many strangers were there?
How many strangers?
Yeah, come on.
We can put that to the audience.
You see, how many? Come on.
Well, there was the zombie one. There was
start at the beginning. There was that. Here's the rather wholesome one.
Yeah.
And he wakes up, and then you've got like they're all. I think of them like vintage cheeses, basically. Everything's always cheese to me. So there was a sort of the healthy Greek yogurt cheese, and so the normal English cheese, because you know he's English even though he's American.
Yes.
Then there's the dead one. He's Stinky Strange.
Yeah.
Then he comes back as Stilton Strange, a bit blue.
Yeah, veiny.
And then he dead again. And then there's the old I Pickled Onion Strange. So I had to put them in order, so I knew what the fuck was going on. But it was quite useful for me because he didn't always look like he didn't look like a cheese,
right?
Or because there was makeup, anyway, that. But then see, I didn't know. You didn't know how many strangers there were. Well, someone does.
There'll be somebody who've counted.
He does. Anyway, go on. What were we going to say? Anyway, so I'm interrupting the.
How did this come to you? I mean, how?
Well, it was through another universe. It was another director, and I thought I was talking to him. I was actually talking to him.
Okay.
And then I found out he wasn't doing it.
Right. Okay. We're allowed to mention him then.
No.
Okay. So he left, and then Sam came on.
No, Sam didn't come. He was flying around. He was doing another film.
Okay.
So he was on a Zoom multiverse thing.
Okay.
And we didn't see him for a long time.
We're all in that.
Then he turned up exhausted,
right,
with a bad back.
And he didn't want to do. He'd not done his superhero stage of Spider-Man's. He hadn't done one since 2007.
Well, he started it all. He's to blame.
Mm.
No, he was terrific. I mean, really, he's a really great director, and you can see he's really great with performances, and this was a knot of things. I mean, if I'm start naming them after cheese and stuff like that. But it was a real Rubik's Cube to sort out, and he did it, I think, very well. I mean, you can enjoy it, even if you don't know any of these things, he did it, and he's great like that. And loves the camera, loves real physical effects, loves real transitions, I mean, he's been scaring the crap out of us for. Well, he's funny though. He's funny.
Yeah.
His Evil Deads were funny. That was the thing. He's got a real. He loves it when things go wrong.
Right.
Sort of that,
But it takes itself just seriously enough, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
It does
it's
a little
better
bit.
after the first 56 times, I tell you. But yeah, but they changed a lot. But no, it doesn't. No, it's not. There was a bit more humour in it. I think it's damped down a bit.
Okay.
They put it out to a bunch of pot-smoking teenagers to ask what they think very bad idea, and then it went down, and it came back up again, and then they shot a lot more stuff.
Were you around for that?
Some of it. I mean, not all of that's me, I have to say.
Okay.
But Doug Cameron came. A lot of people came.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it was beset by.
There's bits of you can tell. I mean, our America looks better than their America that was shot in America.
Okay. Where did you shoot your America? In America?
In Chertsey, where of course,
in Longcross, right?
Yeah. On the M3, it's much better America than their America, I think.
They don't know how to
do it. And then there's also that strange sort of moment when they go to looks like a sort of a carpet freshener place, when it looks like a commercial for carpet fresheners, like with plastic flowers and stuff. And it's there were desperate jumps to.
Right.
But it's a multiverse, so why not?
Yeah, anything could happen.
Why can't you
Is
do
that a
hair
problem though? With
commercial?
that anything can happen? Is that fun,
Well, no,
or is
not
it?
for this one. No,
No, clearly.
it's fine. No, it was.
When there's no rules, it's kind of mad, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, but that's Sam put it together. It's great. You know, it's really good. I think I'm very happy with my part of them.
Of the universe.
Yes.
You must have your pick of scripts these days.
Pick of scripts.
Your pick of
No,
scripts.
you wouldn't have thought so.
You would have, yeah.
Yeah, well, you should. Yeah, you would have thought so, but no, no, not really.
Okay. What do you look for when you manage to get hold of a script?
Not this. No, no. I mean, no, you want a good director, which you Sam was, but I signed up with another guy, so I can't really say that. Or you want a great script. I never understood this script. I mean, I really didn't. I understand it now, and you will when you're older, all of you. Yeah, you want a great script, great director. You've got those two things, you're away. So that's what.
And a budget.
Sorry,
budget.
budget not so important. No, really, not really. I mean,
no, of
people
course
think it is because you do these massive things, but I mean, obviously these come with a whole lot of conditions.
Of course. Well, so is that? Had you seen the original?
Yeah, I saw Ben's one, which I thought was great. I liked it actually. I liked the whole, and we played, that whole Nepali. It seems to be bedded in a lot more things we understand as ancient feeling of monks and Nepal and high things and Buddhism and so it sort of feels a bit more layered than a lot of the other. And he falls into that world. The first one he goes to fix his hands, and I like Ben. So I spoke to Ben about a lot about it, and he said, "Off you go. You're welcome to it." Yeah.
Well, that's good, isn't it? It shouldn't be. I mean, is it Marvel is a reference point in itself because it's all got to slot together slightly.
Well, yes. I mean, people cheer when. I mean, you lot didn't, but people cheer when other guys turn up in them. That's quite, and all that stuff.
It's like It's like a series. Basically, it's a series, isn't it?
Well, I mean, we didn't know who was going to turn up. I mean, we had Daniel Gray. I mean, all sorts of names. I mean, that Judgment Chamber. We kept moving that set around to different places. And Patrick Stewart turned up. Oh, Patrick, nice. So what are you doing here? So, well, I was going to ask you the same thing. And then, who else is here? No one, just you today. Oh, because they couldn't get them all together.
Oh, really?
So there's a lot of what do they call that? Motion control technicrane or techno something. Anyway, and it was difficult because they weren't always there. And so we dragged the set around to find them because of the COVID, and then they didn't show up anyway. And then Lokshana came out from 2LA to do like 2 lines. And she was out of focus in the background for one of them, but I didn't tell her. But no, they bring them all together. Yeah, that's the great. Yeah. And now, the cat's out the bag. I thought I killed 4 of them, which was great. I said I killed Logan off. That was good. Got rid of one of them.
You're doing well to take it all down.
He was very nice. Though I liked him by the end of it. Now it's. Ain't gonna go away.
No. Sam. Obviously, Sam's done it. Like you said, you mentioned he's done his fair share of horror. Was he intentionally kind of felt more grown up and a bit more gruesome? And like you say, Logan as well felt like an evolved, grittier version.
No, it was horror, definitely. Yeah,
I mean, it's like it was a Sam Raimi script.
It's actually been tempered a lot. I mean, there was a lot more scary stuff. I mean, my daughter was jumping around, which gave me no end of pleasure. But I didn't. It was a lot darker and weirder and psychotically nasty. And but you've got Wanda, who's just like so fun. She's such great. She didn't seem to mind diving into the devil stuff too much.
Right. She'd come straight from shooting the series, hadn't she?
That's right, yeah. So
did you speak to Jess? Because obviously another link there. Did you speak to Jess about any of that?
No, I didn't. I didn't even know about that, to be honest.
Right.
Until we were right into it, and she was telling us how they did it, and it sounded, kind of exhausting. The big takes and big. And I still would like to see it. I just didn't. Well, I haven't yet, but I will. Yeah.
Well, it's all part of the, you sort of have to see everything, don't you, in lots of ways. It's clearly a film made by seasoned filmmakers. Like we said, it's got some guts to it, and the way it's put together, and the script is very good. And it's. Do you think it would have been different if it wasn't Sam?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No, I mean, it was a hell of an undertaking, and he always, I mean, he was battered this way and that, by them all, the studio, the writers, but he did keep it on course. He is a very, very complete guy, and he just rolls with it. I don't know how he keeps his humor or temper, but he takes it all in, listens to everything, listens probably too much to people who don't know shit about anything. But he molds it and he keeps it going. I don't know who, on those big Marvel things, who, with a much more linear story, could have done that.
Did he have a philosophical approach to it? I mean, were there any rules that you set up between you that you had to stick to, or did that come from?
What do you mean in terms
previous film? Just in terms of, what was, well, obviously not, because anything goes. There were no rules. Were there anything that you had to stick to because it was Doctor Strange?
Well, yeah, from the first film, yeah, there was, those things, but then it was trying to. I mean, I didn't really want it to be. It's a very colourful film, but there was so much. Oh, this, the Thanos thing with that fucking rubbish thing, the wine gums in the fingers.
Wine gums in the gloves.
Yeah, I mean, they were too much colour. I said, listen, let's just give them colours and moods and introduction. When you introduce Wanda, is she okay? Is she not okay? You meet her first, and she's a mum, and then you see her in the orchard, and then what's her signature, and then immediately she does that. And that's her signature. She had these amber, burnt, hellish colours. Then, of course, the Strange and all the monks they have there, some iron filing thing, which we resuscitated some old LED rings that Ben had used.
Right.
And then, what does America have? She's the all-powerful thing. So she had this super white light, blinding white.
Where did they?
Then so there was a coloured identity, but I didn't want it to be too much like a fruit salad because it was really getting a bit like the Floor and Saturday Night Fever at one stage. It was like, you've got to try and keep, and also introducing the characters, what's their thing, what's their tune, how do they, so I was quite rigorous about that. And then, of course, there were massive reshoots, and that sort of went out the window a bit. But, as I said before, it's a multiverse, so anything
But
goes.
did any of that stuff come down were there diktats from?
No, I mean, everyone talks about Ditka Road and blah, 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 and they go on and on about the comics and this, and I'm just I just wait till they call me to stand up and do something with a camera. I mean, I don't know. That just goes on. Those conversations just went on and on and on. So, I mean, if it confused me, I thought it was a bad idea. So I'm trying to simplify it, not because I want to rain on their parade, but I just thought if I don't get it, then I'm going to have trouble putting it through the camera and out onto. So I didn't want to squash any ideas or step into this sort of, oh my God, you can't do that and you can't do this. Oh, because this character does this or that. There is a definite, I mean, as we all know, there's a definite set of Marvel rules, this, that, and the other. Some of the characters, I didn't know who was going to turn up, and the thing that, Benedict was very funny and rude about the Tuning Fork Man, and Charlize, I didn't even get to meet her. I was so annoyed. I did work for a few years, didn't even get to meet her. And she turns up in this not the best costume at the end, was it first? I mean, what's she got on?
Run out
I
of
mean,
money by that point.
his eye pops out. What the fuck? So there was, obviously there are. I don't know how many more of these people there are, characters there are. I don't know.
Oh.
No, I mean, I think we might be getting up to date, so now they've got to write. But I love the fact that, Strange is a favourite for many people. Like, it's older than me, I was with Danny Kleinman, he talks a lot about Strange being his favourite guy, and I kind of knew of him, but I didn't grow up with any of these people. I knew Batman, Superman, Silver Surfer. I never know what the fuck he ever did. He just roared about the place. But he looked good. But X-Men I never understood.
No.
I never got it. And they asked me to do 3 of them, and only did the one when I got to kill one. But I didn't know, they were. But people know them. People know and love these characters in these comic strips. And also trying to do that in the film, trying to, the camera's on its side a lot and tipping, because you get those wonderful illustrated comics. And they just play with formats and shapes and size. And you look at a page and it's beautifully set out, the graphics on it, So try to do that a lot, you know, and try to have these moods of different places, Wondergore, the Hermitage, New York, these 818, 616, all these sort of strange, you know, universes. So we're trying to give them an identity. So there was a code.
Right.
Yeah.
The location list is pretty big.
No, I didn't go anywhere.
Well, were you just stuck in Longcross? You didn't go to...
Well, they think I did.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's why you would sign up to these bloody films. I was going to go to all these places.
Right.
And I didn't go anywhere.
Okay.
I ate food in cardboard boxes and wore a mask for 6 months.
COVID, it got a bit screwed up by COVID. How did you cope with that?
Fine, to be honest. I mean, Jamie Christopher managed to get us going again quite quickly. You know, produced it really good. So we were okay. You know, it did take its toll. You know, not everyone was there at the end. You know, you know. And but he managed to keep us moving, which was good. But yeah, and then everyone, you know, all these masks. And you didn't. I mean, I turned up to the screening the other day and I didn't recognise anyone. I mean, that's and then one took their masks off and everyone had big fucking noses. You noticed that? Like,
Completely don't know who any of these people are.
No, anyway, no, but yeah, anyway, but no, I mean that was. I didn't go anywhere, but there's a lot of places that people seem to have gone. There was Hawaii and New Zealand.
I've got Iceland, Norway, Italy, Vancouver, New York. Well, I guess that's all units, is it?
Don't know.
Excellent.
wish I'd gone, but you know.
I can assume there's a fair amount of VFX in this film. But you said that Sam likes practical effects. How does that work? How much was built at Longcross?
A lot. I mean, there was big. The whole rooftops were built. You know, the rooftops of the Nepali Hermitage place. You know, this place up in the Himalayas. That was a massive set. Then there was all the interiors for that. The New York street they built, I think, about 400 yards of New York.
Right.
And that we revisited and flooded and put sand and beaches and made it blue and made it this. Then there was the, you know, some of the interiors pizza parlor, which I thought were, you know, they were just big sort of, you know, meaty sets. There was the Wondergore, which I thought went well. And they were in the serious stage, which was built for the, they call it the serious stage, it was the Glastonbury people build them.
Right.
And they're just big tents. They're not very good for sound. And they're not very good weather cover because you sound like you're inside a Royal Marines drum when it rains. And I mean, they bring the Glastonbury mud with it and they throw it outside because it was just disgusting. So there's mud everywhere, which kept being dragged into the set. So that was a big stage, and we put you know, all the tunnels and when they're escaping, the British Museum, which you may have recognised. You know,
you built the British Museum.
Yeah, when we wanted to shoot there, and the British Museum were keen for us to go, but it looks crap in the daytime. I mean, it's got that wonderful Foster roof, but I said, well, we have to come at night because the only point of being there was to get those sort of, you know, it just didn't. It's a very white Portland. It just wasn't the right feeling for it. I mean, we were going to go there, and the British Museum were keen for us to go because they were closed and they were losing money, and you know, so it was good revenue for them, but it just didn't seem to make sense in the end to go there. And then that kind of Grand Central Station judgment chamber that got dragged around the world, you know. So yeah, there's a lot of build, and I think their builds look better than the, you know, green screen stuff as always.
Was there much full environment green screen?
Not for us, no. There were a couple of stages, all that flying business, but there were not. I mean, no, we had, I don't know how many stages we had going, but you know, there were big stages. I mean, I had you know, big lighting packages, you know, lots and lots of cables going on the roof, lots of rigging. Yeah, I mean, and there's difficult things always trying to make an exterior looking out like, you know, that is exterior, and it's not.
Yeah.
I think it did well on the roof, you know, but it was 1,000 power cans. It wasn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't. You know, it wasn't just big units. I mean, when you have something that big, you can't. The drop off across it, it's going to be apparent, so you have to sort of keep it going. But if you look at it, I mean, it looks like it's got shape to it on the film, but it actually doesn't have any shadows. So, you know, but it worked. So there were problems like that. And it was also just the rig, and it's a curved roof, and it's not the best for rigging onto. But it was a lot of old style, big old tungsten lights.
Chuck Finch was your gaffer,
Yeah.
who you'd worked with before, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Was the first time on Kingdom of Heaven.
Right.
Man from Uncle Pan, King Arthur, and Dan Pikachu.
Yeah.
And
Batgirl.
what one?
Batgirl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. I mean, do you just wind Chuck up and drop him off somewhere, and he just lights it for you?
No, he still keeps going. I mean, he's got a few multiverses as well.
I mean, his CV is something else.
I mean, we didn't. I mean, wanted to shape it, and Sam is traditional, and he likes shape and shadow, and wanted to give it stuff, and that's where Chuck comes from. That's what I grew up looking at. I like shape and hard and things. I mean, it's always the problem with, especially digital cameras, is they are very flat. They clean things up. They look crap on outside. You can light for them inside, but you always want to throw it somewhere it doesn't want to go. Like burn things out, make things black. So we didn't. You get some hollers and hoots from the dit tent, and you just zip them up inside and say, "Shut up!" Just hit them with a baseball bat and just hope they be quiet. So but you need to give it that thing. And we use big heavy lights, old mole beams, and we had Dinos to make the big sunsets. We had soft suns inside from Mount Wundagore when it collapses. You need to get that drop off. Nothing else does it. You need. They were big sets. As I said, you can't have lots and lots of horrible little lights. Lots and lots of sky panels doing fuck all. And gels. We used gels.
Wow.
We made decisions. Used gels. And you can do it. With the sunsets and the different colours going on. That was all gel chain. That was all on sliders, because we had lots of power counts. So you just checkerboard them with different things, and you make the sunset richer, darker, whatever, cooler. Space lights come on the top, and then the big sun comes in low, and then she comes in and causes merry hell, and you put a red 25 and everything, and then and low down, just big heavy things coming across the floor.
Amazing.
And Sam likes all that, that's the thing. And then you look at the comics again, you go back to those. They do great things. They're standing there, and they have a purple shadow running off the back of them. So yeah.
Did you look at that kind of reference then, or was that just
there was lots of
stuff?
it about. I mean, there's that wonderful moment when they fall through the thing and they actually go into flat 2D animation. I wish they'd stayed there a bit longer. That was about it. I thought, well, stay there a bit longer. It gives me something to get hold of to, throw into the film.
Camera operators. You worked with Pete Wignall and Roddy Gutierrez, who you've worked with a bunch of times before. How does that relationship work with operators and with directors? Do you tend to let them get on with it with the director, or how involved do you get with shot design, and how does that work?
Yeah, Rod had been with a while, and Rod's very sort of international fellow, and so he gets on. Immediately, he's from the Americas again, so he got on well with Sam, and Paul's incredibly steady and quiet, and he liked to move the camera a lot, Sam, so that was good for us. So.
But that shot design, does that come the choreography of that and the evolving one shots, and it's obviously there's a lot of VFX and stunts and SFX, and then kit. Is it lots of telescopic and wire?
Well, a lot of some wire things, and we did try and keep moving. I mean, I don't really remember talking too much about it. I mean, I think everyone just knew what to do. It wasn't really. You may try and make the shots as big as possible. We try not to. To try and pick the move. Where and that Sam's good at that. Like, when are we going to move? Not at the beginning of the scene. Let's go and sit there for 24 mil. There's no when to move. And to structure the scenes that we used a lot of medium-sized lenses, for most of the dialogue and some of the places we went to, because we didn't really have the background to cover it, so you box it up. And then when you went big and wide and crazy, we just let it, just let it be that, and let the visual effects fill it in. But we try to get as much of it on the set as we can, because we knew that they were going to get I mean, I was great. I didn't know this was coming out when it did. I was grading up to about 10 days ago. Yeah, I mean, they were, and they would ring me and say, well, can you do 2 o'clock? I said, yeah, sure. You know, I said, well, that's 6 o'clock in the morning for you. I said, yeah. I said, well, we've been dubbing all night. So they were really, so I knew that there was going to be an awful pressure on visual effects right from the get-go. They had the release dates, then COVID came along and all that stuff. And then they would, the reshoots. So we tried to get as much as we could for Sam, so you could have it in the cutting room and really look at it.
Yeah.
And I think that you always want that. You want, you don't want to wait shot missing, waiting for the big moment to come in and go, oh, is that it, guys? Yeah, you got to sign off on it because we got to go to finals. So, really, and he's a traditional filmmaker. He comes from that time when there was none of that stuff. Yeah. So he expects you to do that. So there were big sets and, with ceilings on, with stuff, not too much top-ups,
How do you find directors differ in that? You said Sam is fairly traditional and knows what he's after, and he's in control of that and bridging that relationship. It sounds like with the production,
yeah,
and then with you. How do people? Obviously, everyone is quite like that. Is Sam particularly strong, as you say? But how do other people deal with that?
No, he's not very specific with, you've got to do this or I want this. Right. I think he just injects us of energy. So it's a bit like, I don't know, you hear about Robert Altman, other guys, he just gets the mood right, and then off everyone goes. Not everyone's like that. No.
Did you get told what camera to use?
No.
They let you shoot it on.
Yeah.
But you had to shoot digital.
No, he wanted to shoot film at times, and then I did all this crazy stuff with. I've got a lot of cross-post. How are we going to do the different universes and reversal film, this, that, and the other, and the visual effects people and Marvel go, oh God, here he comes. But I said, well, look, let's give a reference because we needed to find these different universes. And in fact, what happens is the end is that Benedict and Sochi, Strange and America, they take you through this world. Because we made sure the portals were real portals. Right. But we look back at old weird stuff like Head, the Monkeys films, what I'm talking about, like real psychedelic crazy stuff, because that's where he's from. Psychedelic era was beginning to experiment with lysergics about the time Strange picked up. So, that we did, we shot with hand crank cameras, with infrared cameras, cross-processing, C41 negative, putting reversal through C41, and then messing with that. So we did all those things, and I've got lovely tests and lovely stuff, but in came the Marvel and VFX people said, no.
Yes.
We will throw you down a hole if you do that. But anyway, what we wanted to find was something to stick to. And Sam came back to that. So we always had that place like, this is where it should be. Now, I say in the reality with all the flashes and the portals I sort of got right. So we, got those right. So when we, made sure that interactive lighting happened, that Wanda had red things to hers, that when, really tried to light, he was very specific. Well, I was quite specific and he was too. Like, when are we going in, when are we going to go out? You're not going to repaint his face white when she's red and blah, blah, blah. So, that was locked in.
Right.
So
and that's you were doing practical.
Yeah,
that was all.
Yeah,
LEDs in the hand.
LEDs or just lights on the edge of frame or on the edge of and again we did use some sky panels, but again using the primary because the primary colours look better. But trying to reach into the set to get Rhonda in, not just lighter red lights. Red's tricky on people. You've got to just always put a bit of white in. So it was almost from the side or something. I bent it, didn't put it there. Just bent it round. So she at least had some form. But yeah, those were quite. You have to. Some of these things are other people's things, but the Marvel thing. You can see they've just done flat floor, overhead, nothing lights, some sky panels around those, and they just put in the background, and that. I wanted them to belong in the world. You really want them to be there. Even though I knew they would move things about and blah, blah, blah. I wanted to feel that they belonged where they were standing and they were experiencing,
That's a tough call, but I think it's a good
Well, it is. I mean, it works.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, there's multicoloured worlds. There's things with chases of ambers and golds and purples and things, and then her world, the red sort of dangerous world and firelit stuff and the candle, and then the sinister sanctum when they go back, and it all goes toxic colours of greens and yellows just as they start drinking the naughty tea, and so yeah, you wanted to make. I mean, if people pick up on it, great. If they don't, well, that's a shame. But when he walks through the place at the beginning, it's all like he wakes up, he has a bit of a bad dream, he does his tie. There's a change between, unless you hold them against each other in this mad world, you're not really going to notice. But I did do that, hoping that you do.
Burning it in, you're burning it in, you're
pick
doing
up
it for
on
real,
it,
yeah. Not relying on post entirely. Cool, let's ask some questions.
Yeah, come on, they're all bored.
Hello.
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 Yeah.
Let's see if someone's going to throw a microphone at you very quickly. Here it comes. It's going to fly.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, in this universe at least, what were the biggest challenges in capturing that stunning, dazzling footage up on that screen? What were the mountains to climb, as it were?
I don't know.
Biggest challenge?
No, not really.
No? It was,
No, I mean, good director, lots of lights, lots of very expensive equipment. Can't really start hollering and hooting how bad it was. Paid me lots of money, hours were okay. Thank you very much. Sorry.
It's a race for microphones.
Hello.
Oh, we have to
Over
give it.
here.
Can we just give it this one to? Just give it because it's his birthday. He gets one question because it's his birthday.
So I know you're a great lover of practical stuff, and I know you were
Switch
talking
you on,
about.
Angus. They're going to switch you on. Are you
I
on?
think I'm on.
He's
I think
on.
I'm on. But you mentioned that you had painted backdrops in there. You used the old mesmerizers from some of the practical, old school stuff.
Yeah, I did.
You did.
No. Well, he didn't even know if the bloody film had started. He thought it was some commercial for some lottery thing on the spinning thing. And he said, "Oh, is this it?" I said, "Yes, this is it." Not too many questions from him. No, I did. Yes, painted backdrops because then you can use smoke, takes the pressure off visual effects. You can let things go out of focus. Yeah, and Sam loves all that stuff. You remember these crazy old films, and he was always fiddling with shutter speeds and all that stuff. So we did quite a bit of that to make them, some of those scenes a bit more edgy stuff. So there was a lot of things that we tried to do up front. But I like painted backgrounds because I know what I'm bloody looking at. And, I was muttering to you about the one I didn't think was very good because they didn't know what they were looking at. In the end of the blue sequence, the big swirly something. It's totally wrong, I think, because they got the background window right. That was me. They said it's got to be bright, and it's not bright. It looks flat. It kills the room. So, I do try and, get it where it should be. The nice thing about using the painted backdrops is that I could actually get the... I could burn the background. The visual, you get that visual effects, they temper it down. If you're standing in the Himalayas and there's a snow mountain there and you're inside an old mahogany dark temple, there's going to be a lot of contrast.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm in Chertsey. I'm not in fucking Nepal. So, I try to, really feel like you're there. I have been to Nepal. I've been, once you go to the mountains, everyone's been to mountains. So, what you can do. And then when the druggy moment happened, we had that thing on the lens and we twist it so it looks all right, and as soon as you just press the button and everything starts feeling very queasy. So and then again, the operator can see it and thinks, well, I'll just do that as well and make him feel really ill. Rather than, we'll just fix it later. They wouldn't do that.
Does doing that practical stuff that might take more time on set than
It doesn't
it would?
really.
Okay, but
Doesn't, no, I
it
don't
didn't
think it
jar
does.
with the system, as it were. They were like,
No, and I think Yannick, he didn't mind, that he was He's always said, give me something to get hold of, give me some light on hands, give me something. He's a very sort of stand-back visual effects guy, you know, who'd rather, you know, we'd meet him halfway, you know. Whereas a lot of people say, oh, we'll just send it down the line, and it never looks right. I don't think, you know, I think I like that. And I love painted backdrops. I love those guys that come in and still do that. I just stare at what they're doing. I take pictures of it, and you know, I just think it's remarkable that those people are around still.
I had one about a year and a half ago with sequins on fishing line, and it was for sea in the distance, with a fan on it, and these little sequins just twinkling.
Yeah,
it's just amazing.
No, and the director I just we just did a thing with aeroplanes, and he painted an aeroplane on this airfield once, and he said, "No, I said it looks like shit." And he said, "Glass painted it," and he said, "No, wait. When they walk forward to get them to duck," I said, "Why? Well, they go under the wing." And it just worked perfectly, you know. And it just, you know, you can still do those things. It's still allowed, boys and girls, you know.
Another question. Yes, go for it.
You mentioned some of the conditions and rules of shooting a Marvel film, and I was just wondering if that ever became creatively frustrating, or is it a case of embracing like the limitations of the studio?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they tell me, and it goes in through one ear and out the other. I just really try not, you know, don't try to be difficult. I just try not to upset those rules. You know, I had more of those on Logan, you know. They said, oh, and he's physical, he can't do, he's got the adamantum, and I said, what the fuck? I said, he just jumped through a fucking window and landed on the ground. That's bad shit, you know, he's a superhero. No, he's not. So, you know, I just try and listen and not, you know, not keep your head down. You know.
Smart move. Sorry, there we go.
So I'm kind of interested to know, because you've spoken a lot about the special effects used in the film. I'm interested to know, as a cinematographer, how do you visualise scenes and create shot lists when you're using VFX? And how do you plan for that, well, you know, the pre-production phase and then the shooting phase?
Well, a lot of it's, you know, I mean, you saw the visualisation, you know, the previs people are all over you like a rash, sort of sending stuff. Of course, you know, we all talk about stuff and things that we've seen, or, you know, whether it's, you know,
How's Sam for that kind of specific prep?
I mean, there's lots of reference and lots of old footage, and people pull things out of YouTube and see really what happens when a building falls down, or when we did Kingdom of Heaven. We, you know, looked at what Baghdad would look like when it was being hit by cruise missiles, and, you know, it's a rather dark stuff. But you know so yeah, you try and touch it into a world that someone might have seen something, but the big tumbling stuff you see, and that is really why you just take a leap of faith. But you're trying to get what it is out of them, and no one is coming out with the artwork, and no one is actually saying anything, no one's actually producing anything, or some 2D stuff. Or you get the Ditko Road kind of illustrations, which are very simple, beautiful black and white and one color, or just black and white. But when they do anything, no one says anything, that's when I think we've got to move. So I said to them, right, well, it's going to be this cloud effect. They're going to be moving around things. We're going to create a chase of different colors that hopefully when they move through it, they will be able to turn them in a way that they, you know, that nothing is really up, nothing's down, but if I know where the dark surfaces are, I know where they're standing, even if they're falling through the air, I know where the dark, if up is down and down is up. Then it was a question of actually making chases of lights with power cans and sky panels to chase the colours, and they were going across and up and round like goalposts, and then we'd also around the room if they're on their feet, and like I'm talking to you, so that would create that movement. And then they I gave it to them, they got hold of it, and then they built the world around it. I mean, I knew that they were heading to the Visanti, I knew that it was bright, I knew they were heading to a focal point, but you really are just in a green screen stage, lifted them up in the air so I could get light underneath their feet, on perspex. The book is real. A lot of the floor, those sort of Gothic stained glass windows or Islamic sort of patterns that were very much a theme. They were built on the floor, but they again lifted so we could light underneath them. But they were very thin or rudimentary. There was nothing really from them. So I think someone's got to just make an offer or make a start on it. So we did. So with the lighting, so right, this is where they are. This is what this portal looks like when you fall through it. Off you go. The more kind of abstract, crazy ones, you don't really ever stop, and they don't really feel like they belong. But they're just shortcuts. So but all the other stuff, Wondergore, Comatage, all that stuff, that it was real. It was there. It was topped up, but it wasn't. We knew what it was. It wasn't a surprise when I saw it.
It sounds like a ton of lighting design that you did. It sounds like you did it.
Oh yeah, everything's moving.
Not with visual effects. You kind of did it.
No, you just have to start.
Right.
When they came to the reshoots, I was, my other daughter on the desk, she said, when these notes on the desk, I said, I can't read this shit. It's like hieroglyphs. Because I literally, and then trying to figure out what we did on what days, because this was a complicated one. It was a lot of design, a lot of phone calls, and luckily I've got a couple of sparks who've got memories like elephants. And, I could get the information. Then you get back into it and you remember things. But there was a long list of colours, yeah, and they were different moods and different places.
Right.
And different spectrums. Yeah.
That's very cool. Another question. Hello.
It occurred to me that this was rather an unusual part for Dominic Cumberbatch to play. How did you find working with him? Have you worked with him before?
No, I didn't. I mean, I think he's terrific. I mean, I think, he is Doctor Strange. I mean, I don't know who Doctor Strange was. I mean, I just think of him as a sort of an Englishman, a quintessential Englishman, even though he's American. I mean, he's a sort of, that's the great thing when he meets this girl. He's an English snob who doesn't really like sort of anything much. And meeting this sort of Hispanic street girl was a big sort of, two opposites. But he works very hard. I mean, he just. The last thing I saw him on for this was he plays Cummings in the Brexit film, which he was just a monster in. I mean, he was just terrific, and he was just despicable in that, and worse than the worst Stinky Strange or any of them. He was really, but I mean, he's a very concerned actor, and he was working very hard to try and get it right with Sam, and Sam was very concerned about him feeling comfortable with it. There was a lot of writing went on, a lot of stopping and starting, but I mean, I think he got it right. I think he is, much as Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, he's Doctor Strange. I can't think of anybody else who could do that.
Yes, I think we've warmed to him in the part.
Well, I hope so.
Any more questions?
Hiya. How many shooting days do you have, and how much time in
Fucking
pre-production?
loads, I don't know.
There he is.
Roughly.
I mean, I had no idea. I can't remember. I can't remember what I was doing before it. I really don't. I can't. I mean, it just went on and on and on and on. I mean, it must have been. I think we started, we stopped, and then I finished about this time a year ago, and then I started again in August, and then Mindell came in, did a bit, and then Cameron came in, did a bit, and I was back on it. But then they put me on Spider-Man. I was supposed to be on this one. I don't know. It was a multiverse. It's on the title.
Endless.
Yeah, it was endless. I mean, not horrendous, but it did go on. I mean, it was
Yeah.
Let's go and have a drink. Come on.
Just right here.
I'm really thirsty.
One last one, I promise. It should be easy. You touched base a little bit on moving sets halfway across the world.
Yeah.
I just come from a media production show, which obviously shows the new virtual production wall.
Yeah.
As a DOP, I just wanted to know your thoughts, whether you've ever worked with one, if you have the interest, because you sound, obviously, you and
sorry,
Sam.
the volume.
No, the virtual wall production, so what they used on The Mandalorian. that
Yes,
just
for the-
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I looked at the one out there in Manhattan. I mean, I think they're great. They're a great toy. They're impressive. I'm not really sure if they're going to deliver everything that everyone thinks they're going to. I mean, there's a few problems of speed and focus, and they work better in darker situations. I mean, it'd be great to have it because you can actually see what you're doing. But then everyone, we would try to use one with my friend here, but we didn't have time to shoot the backgrounds right, or and also with this mob, you don't know what's going on. And so I just started lighting, and then they filled it in later. I mean, they would never decided on the background. They wouldn't. If we can make New York look better than they can make New York in New York, then
Yeah, I'm still slightly confused by that virtual production thing in that you do have to work backwards and generate.
Well, if you know what it is, and it's one thing, but I mean, look at this. I mean, we were everywhere. Oh, we didn't go anywhere. Went to Chertsey, but yeah, I mean, someone went somewhere. Wasn't me.
Any more questions? I've got. Is that?
Come on, look at this. It's really late here. Come on.
I've got one. I've got 5 very quick questions that I want to ask you that you have to answer really quickly. They're quick fire questions. Yeah. Really, just don't think too hard. What book are you reading or referencing at the moment?
Evelyn Vaughan. It's a couple of them. I don't know why.
Okay. What was the last film you saw where the cinematography really excited you?
Matter of Life and Death.
Excellent.
That's on just around the corner the other day. Wonderful.
What's your cinematic joy and what's your cinematic hell?
Some dirty location and blue screen or green screen.
Is that the joy? Which way round is that?
Well, which way do you fucking think?
You can only keep one lens to shoot everything from now on. What is it?
The Hannibal lens.
Okay.
You don't
And
know what that is. No one does.
Is it a Panavision?
It's it's another cheese.
Another cheese. And one word that you would give your younger self, or a piece of advice, very quick piece of advice.
I wouldn't do this again.
What, this or this?
No, I mean, now I wouldn't do it today. I wouldn't.
Oh, really?
No.
Interesting. And last question, well, you didn't have your BSC initials on the credits.
No, but the graphic looks better without it.
Okay.
I used to do graphics.
I want to just very quickly thank Marvel, thank MBSC UK for the sponsorship and Shift 4 for the camera support. Thank you, View West End. Thank you for all of you for coming. John Mathieson BSC. Thank you.